The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary Related Entertainment.
Aloha and welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where each week you will find us talking story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and their staff to find out how they're working to support those with needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, please stop by Pacific Source's Cabinet and Appliance Showroom located in the Waikapu Base Yard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific, and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. For those of you who may be listening for the first time to this weekly show, during the hour we share some of the experiences of our nonprofit agencies and just how they're changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those with needs. Today we're going to start off the show talking with Mary Leva. Gosh, why is that so hard for me? Who is the Community Liaison for Partners in Development Foundation, Hui Ho'omalu program. For those of you who are not familiar with that, we're talking about what used to be called foster kids programs. Foster kids is not in there anywhere anymore, is it?
No.
So we don't have foster parents, we have resource caregivers.
That's right.
Okay, so Mary, give us a little rundown on what's happening here in Maui County and how many foster parent, resource caregivers you have. And maybe if you've got a general idea how many children are out there that are in need of care.
Sure. So currently on the state of Maui, I don't exactly have the numbers on how many resource caregivers we have, but we're always looking for more.
Okay.
As we do have a large amount of kids that are removed from their family homes, and we always need a home for a kid here on Maui.
Always. And now when we talk about the children that are involved in this program, what ages are we talking about?
0 to 18.
Okay, so that's quite a range.
Our teenagers are the harder placements, and so we really are looking for individuals that can take on the challenge to be able to take on teenagers. A lot of them need a home still, and we've kind of said, well, you're a little older, but they also still need that loving that they never got.
Right, and they're at the point where they've probably spent some time in that situation where all this abuse has been around them, and they don't know what a quote normal, if there is such a thing, home is.
Exactly. And that's why we're always looking for resource caregivers that can provide them with that little bit of normalcy, even if it's just very temporary.
Okay. At 18, do they move out of the program? And I mean, would they be on their own, or what happens?
Yeah, they age out of the foster care system. There are other agencies like Hope Inc. That do help them with certain situations with trying to get into colleges and trying to start, place them in homes that sometimes will take them on until they go through college. It just all kind of depends on the child and on the resource caregiver that's there to support them.
Okay, and you said that you always need resource caregivers.
Yes.
The need is so much greater than the what's the word I want? Than what's available.
Absolutely. Just yesterday I was talking it over, and I think we didn't come down to an exact number, but we just continue to have kids removed from homes. So we're always continuously looking for homes. We don't have a shelter here on Maui.
Right.
So the kids are kind of being shifted from home to home till we find permanent homes for them.
Now, when you say the kids are being taken from homes, this is through the
through CPS.
Child Protective Services.
Yep.
That's the state agency.
Yes.
Okay, and something has happened in that home which has made it critical that the child should not remain there.
Absolutely.
Okay, and this could be abuse, could be
Neglect.
Okay.
Abuse. it could, it just depends on each situation is so different from all other situations, but it's usually neglect and abuse.
Okay, so if the family is 2 or 3 or 4, 5 kids, do you have homes for somebody? Will somebody take 5 kids in?
We're trying to find those homes.
Wow, that's a hard one.
Yeah, it's hard. We're always looking for homes that can take siblings of 4 or more. And sometimes you just don't even have cars that can take in that many kids.
Oh, right.
So
right.
it's kind of, it's been kind of funny.
Yeah. I'd love to take in 4 kids, but I ride a motorcycle. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. And the time that they would spend with a resource caregiver can be anywhere from weeks to months?
Yes. It could go from 2 months to 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah. Each situation is different again. And it depends on how soon the parent can do what the court has asked them to do to get themselves together. And then, like I said, it could go 2 months, 6 months, or maybe 2 years. It just depends.
In my eyes, there's nobody more important in this world than a resource caregiver. I mean, someone who can take this on and do and help a child that's not theirs, that's not related in any way, shape, or form. I just think the world of them. I couldn't do it, mainly because I couldn't say goodbye when the time is up. I feel the same way about puppy dogs. I'm sorry. It's like I get attached, and when I get attached, I'm attached. And so you've brought with you someone today who has been working with the system as a resource caregiver. She and her husband have been in the program, I think, 5 years now.
Correct, yes.
So we'd like to welcome Mandy Halverson to the microphone.
Thank you.
Mandy, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I truly mean you guys are heroes in my book to be able to open your home. Now, one of the questions that a lot of people come up with are, do you have kids of your own?
Yes, we have children.
Okay, because, a lot of times people will say, no, I don't want to expose my kids to whatever those other kids have been through.
Right.
Have you found that to be a problem? Do you know how to work through that? What happens?
Well, yes, we have 5 children. Their ages are 15, 13, 12, 11, and 7. And the concern of, I guess, we cast the vision for what it means to care for other children. We want to be a safe place for the children. We want to provide stability for children. And so we let our children know that. And so instead of being afraid of the impact the children coming into our home, we want to be a positive impact for the children coming into our home. So it's kind of a reverse,
Very good, yeah.
Being more proactive and vision casting to love instead of being fearful.
That's great, and that's to me, that's why it works for you.
Yeah.
Because your children become role models.
Absolutely.
For these the visiting.
Yes.
Have you had any that have stayed with you a full 2 years?
Yes, we are actually, our very first placement was with us for 2 years, and we ultimately adopted him. He's our 7-year-old.
You couldn't say goodbye.
I couldn't say goodbye.
There's my point now. Yeah, and he's been a great addition to your family.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. Now, as you proceed through this, now with 5 kids of your own, people keep telling me, quit calling them kids. They're children, or keiki. With 5 of your own, can you envision yourself taking on 2 or 3 more at a time?
It's always a question. To be honest, that's always a question. What can we handle? What can our children handle? And so that's evaluated with every call.
I see.
One of the things that we always evaluate is, where are our children at? Are our children stable right now? Do they need extra? And sometimes they do. and so we push pause for a little bit too, because we want to love and create stability for them.
Right.
And so as we get the calls, because the calls come, there's a great need for resource caregivers.
I was going to say, from what Mary says, I can hear your
Yes.
phone ringing quite a few times each month.
Yeah.
But you do have the option to say, we just can't do it right now.
Correct. Yes.
But keep us on the list.
Absolutely.
And then when whatever you're working out with your children
Correct. Yeah.
fixes itself or corrects itself, you're ready to go back again. I think that's so wonderful. Now, maybe you could give us a story or two about something that maybe happened with any of the foster children that left an impact on you, good or bad.
Good or bad stories. Oh, how do you pinpoint down over 5 years? Oh, man.
Or something that your children did that would never have happened if you hadn't had this relationship.
Well, most recently, with a current placement, we had asked our children, because they are a part of our family, so we talked to them, and we were talking about a placement coming, and just, what do you guys, how do you feel about it? And my oldest, without skipping a beat, he said, I'm in. She needs to be cared for, and she needs to be loved. And so, they catch it. If you cast it, they catch it.
Right. That's
So-
a great response.
Yeah.
To have a 15-year-old say, "Yeah, we're in,"
Yeah.
because that shows it's been a positive experience for them as well.
Absolutely.
Now, when they do they talk about things that happened at home and what or not, or is that just kind of something that's in the back of their minds? And
I think it depends on the child. There are some who are very open. Just like any adult, some are more open than others, and kids can be the same way. Sometimes they need to, there's that point of needing to feel safe in order, are you a safe place for me to share my hurts? And so some, sometimes it takes some time, but we try and keep things very open and try not to make things taboo. And so there's no, with our son we adopted, we talk about his birth mom and communicate, and, so we don't ever want it to be oh no, we don't ever,
right.
we don't talk. No, they're important
Right.
part of their lives.
Right. Now, is his mom still around? Does he know her? See her at all? Or?
Hasn't recently,
Okay.
but we have some open contact and connection there.
So would it kind of be up to him if he said he'd like to see her?
It all depends on how mom and dad are doing and how he's doing.
Okay.
So if mom and dad aren't in a safe place, then we're not going to put him in an unsafe place.
Right. Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
it really just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your hard work would be for nothing if he walked back in and bam, it just hit him again.
Yeah, we want to keep moving forward and progressing through hurts and questions and what about this, and we want
Right.
to address those openly.
That's interesting. One of the things that I would think, and again, I have no frame of reference for this except just as I listen and hear things about it, is as you said, am I safe here? Are you and your husband going to start acting like my mom and dad?
Right.
Or have your kids are different from the kids I've known? It's just such a different world for them for the most part.
Yeah.
And to be able to talk, like you say, you talk about it, but then pretty soon you're melding into a family.
Yeah, family dinners might be a new thing for some of the kids, to sit down and have a family dinner, or reading stories, or playing games. We love board games,
Cool.
So a lot of it is just new to them, and so
Spending time together is probably just a whole new concept
it is,
because
It is.
they were all never together at the same time, same place,
Yeah.
and that's part of what the problem was.
Yeah, and part of what we do, with our kids is hurt people, and so when kids come in and they're hurt, they often will take out their hurt and hurt other people, including our own children. And so we, remind them, this is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of what they've gone through and what their hurt is, and they're hurting, and they don't know how to necessarily express that or show that or work through that. And so we try and facilitate that. Okay, how do we work through the hurt that you've had so that you don't hurt other people,
Right.
in the process.
There's such a better way to live than the hurt process. Right. On that note, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with our executive directors and their staff to find out what they are doing to make Maui the best island possible for all of our residents. And we are talking the first part of the show here today with Mary Leva. I got that right. Whoa. Who is the Maui Community Liaison for Hui Ho'omalu Partners in Development, which is formerly known as by people as the foster care program. And with one of the resource caregivers that they work with, Mandy Halverson. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
And we were talking about how bringing in children from outside affects your children or your family. And the effect, of course, is what you're hoping for, the effect of your family on that child or those children. And during the break, you made a comment which I think is certainly very well worth discussing because we're looking for more people to become resource caregivers. Mary had indicated in the first part of the program that they always need more people because there are just so many children out there that are being taken out of the home situation for various reasons by Child Protective Services. And there's nowhere to go with them. They get sent off to this place for a week or two and then somebody else. They need a more stable situation. Is that what we're looking for?
Yes.
Stability and a chance to work with them. And Mandy, you mentioned about how the whole team effort goes into the program. Would you kind of elaborate for our listeners?
Yes. I was thinking about it this morning, and every analogy breaks down eventually. But I was thinking it like a football team, that every person has a part in being a part of the team. And the ball is the children, and we carry them and we protect them, and we don't want to drop them or lose them. We want to care for them. But there's all these other giftings on the team that work together to provide safety for that child. There's the caseworkers, the guardian ad litems, the therapists, the doctors, counselors, the resource caregivers. It's just this, we all work together using our gifts to and what we have a heart for and a love for and conviction for to help these children be safe and ultimately to reunite them with their parents again. We hope and pray all the time that their parents do well so that the children and the parents can be back together as family again. That is our number one goal. Absolutely.
That's great, and I think that's an important piece of this whole thing because I can see every once in a while when somebody does a program on resource caregivers And Mary, your program, different people that have come before you, as they've talked about the experiences and so forth, you kind of look at the family and say, okay, here's a child for you to work with for the next 6 months, 2 years, whatever it becomes, until there's some place for them to go back to, as you said. That's the hope. And there are teams working with the parents as well to try to make it a home for them to come back to. I think that sometimes people feel, well, I couldn't do that because what help have I got? If something happens, who do I turn to? And Mandy, I'm hearing you say there's lots of people to turn to. Because on this team, there is somebody who you can turn to for whatever it might be that happens. And of course, you as the lead, as a parent, you're already doing a lot of these things for your kids. So it comes naturally. So if somebody is interested in becoming a resource caregiver, what do they need to do?
Well, they need to call me
That's a good start.
or email me.
And they can reach you by calling.
268-5122.
Okay. And then you have training classes.
Yes.
Is there kind of a test or a guideline to go through first to see if there's any chance you could be one?
Yeah, we do a short inquiry. Just, we want to make sure you have the space for a child. You have medical and a good income. The income, just, the ratio, you have to not be in debt or like make less than you can.
You need enough to live on.
There you go. Thank you. Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Yeah.
We do a background check, FBI clearance check for all of those that are interested, and then the training, which is called the Hanai training.
Hanai.
Yeah.
Stands for?
I
I caught you.
I don't know.
I saw that on something.
I know. I'm looking through my paper.
Okay. We'll go ahead. We'll move forward. So somebody has the desire, they call you, they take this basic test, and they find out stands for Hawaii Assures Nurturing and Involvement.
Thank you.
How's that? There we go. And then now they take a class. This class is several weeks.
It's 3 days.
3 days.
So it's about 3 nights and 4 hours each.
Okay.
And then we also offer like 2 classes that are online, kind of, you do it on your own. So it's a total of 5 sessions.
Okay.
After they're done with that, we give them a certificate and we continue to do the rest of their paperwork with them. The final stage is the home study, which is when we come into their home and actually do a full interview of the kind of person that we would like to place a child in their home. We ask them really specific questions about their political views, their religion, the way they were raised, what did they think of disciplining, questions like that. It's kind of intimidating, but at the same time, we feel that it's important because we're placing a child
Right.
in their home. So
Right. You need to know where they're going to go with this.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Mandy, did you get involved through your church? Or
d-
just your faith is part of what led you to do this?
Yeah, ultimately, we always have loved children, so we kind of jumped in and realized we have a greater capacity to love, and so we met somebody, and then we called somebody, and then and then before you know it, we're in class training for this. I mean, that was a really quick turnaround. It just so happened a training was starting that Monday night, and so
It was meant to be.
absolutely. But we do. I mean, our personal family, we absolutely believe that the Lord had led us down this road to love and care for children.
That's wonderful. Wonderful job that you and Paul are doing.
Thank you.
I admire you. I got to say that again because I couldn't do it. I know I know my shortcomings, and that would be one of them. But for those who can, and those out there who think maybe they can, give Mary a call at 268-5122 and see what can come of it.
It's a great road. It's a great road, people.
You don't regret a minute of it.
Not a second.
Isn't that something? 5 years. Mm-hmm. And you adopted one of the children that you had for a time.
Yeah.
Wow. And there'll be more.
Yeah.
What do you see in the future? How you just going to roll with this? You got a 15-year-old. You're going to be 2-3 years. You're going to be looking at him going off to college.
I know.
And then you got another bed there that you can fill.
It's always one day at a time.
I see.
One call at a time.
Okay.
One moment at a time.
So do they give you enough background on the child to give you some idea of what you might be able to expect from if somebody's really problem areas?
What they know, they share.
Okay.
A lot of times there's nothing. We just have this child in custody or these children in custody, and this is all we know. And so things will come up down the road as they feel safe, and they're more willing to disclose or share what they're going through, and behaviors come out, and honeymoon stages go over, and and so it's a roller coaster. There's a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of leaning on each other and leaning on the Lord.
Well, if you're half as calm as you are on the radio, I can see where you make a great resource caregiver. Thank you, Mandy, for joining us today.
Absolutely,
and sharing,
my true pleasure.
Sharing with our listeners about your experiences, and hopefully that will encourage somebody out there, or maybe several somebodies, to just check into it and check it out further. And they can, I would assume at some point, if they have concerns about what this all means when they get through the class and start bringing in children, they get to know other resource caregivers, right?
Yes, we do have support groups through FPH, and as Mandy was saying earlier, we, the child comes with a team. If the child needs a therapist, the child will have a therapist. There's a social worker. There's rehab if the child needs rehab. It's everybody working as one, which is making the best for the child.
Right.
Yeah. We just need a deep bench. If we go back to the football, we just need a deep bench of resource caregivers.
There you go. Wonderful. Thanks again, Mandy, for joining us, and best of luck to you. And again, I applaud what you're doing. It's terrific, and there's going to be some children growing up for lives that they never might have had if it hadn't been for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mary, thank you for being with us. We got to shift gears here.
Thank you.
And the second half of our show today, we've got Anthony is back.
Hi, Susie.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. We've got Anthony Acosta, who is a development director for Maui AIDS Foundation, and he's brought somebody with him who I think we met before. Prevention and outreach team member.
Hey, Susie. Thanks for having us back.
Hey, my pleasure. You guys are always double teaming here. What do we got coming up that we're talking about today?
Well, I love bringing McKenna. McKenna and Chaz are responsible for our programs, our outreach and prevention education programs at Maui AIDS Foundation. So it was really important that I think McKenna be here to kind of talk about some of the changes that have been going on. A lot's been happening for Maui AIDS. Just this Monday, we celebrated National HIV Testing Day.
Right, I saw that.
We also have our 30th year anniversary this year.
Really?
So already we've been just kind of blazing through these months. It's been great.
It's
been great.
I can't believe we're at the end of June. It doesn't seem possible.
This year is totally flying by too quick. There's so much coming up. It's all exciting stuff.
Well, now are these government changes, government-imposed changes that you're talking about that are going on for you guys, or are they just changes in the way you're doing things and how you're able to help people?
More so in the way that we're changing things for the better and helping people for the better. We've got new tests. We're doing not just HIV and Hep C. We're also doing a syphilis test.
Oh, really?
At Maui AIDS Foundation. Mainly because we've had a spike from 2014, between 2014 and 2015. I think it's it's gone on the rise by like 47.8%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's here in Maui in Hawaii. We're the highest rate in the state. So we're trying to get all that testing done, and again, it's free testing, people.
And confidential.
And very
And confidential,
confidential.
yeah.
Yes, very,
Now,
very.
sometimes when we have a spike like that, people say, well, it's because we have so many tourists who come and go, and it's not our local people.
It's hard to say whether it is or isn't.
Okay.
But we do. A lot of the testing that I do is mainly with the locals.
Okay.
I do have some tourists that do come in. They hear about our services and they come in to get tested. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now, is that a long term? I mean, is it a quick test?
Yeah. The syphilis test, they give you the results in 10 minutes.
Oh, really?
That one's like a diabetes finger test. That one's blood only. Take a sample, ask you a few questions, chit chat for 10 minutes, then you get your results.
Gotcha.
And if they do come back positive or reactive, then we get you hooked up with the Department of Health. Our dear friend Janelle out there, who is absolutely amazing at what she does. And then we just get you hooked up with the medical and everything that you need, because it's curable. There's a vaccine, I guess you could say, or stuff that you can take for syphilis. It's not crazy, but there's something that you can do to cure yourself. So
Now, the doctor in your office doesn't handle that.
no,
Or
he
can.
handles mainly. Well, he's our Hep C specialist, I guess you could call
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah. So if we have anyone who comes back Hep C positive, then we send him his way as well. I think there's 3 other doctors that take care of Hep C here on Maui.
Okay. By the way, I love your new website.
Isn't it awesome,
Thank
Anthony?
you.
And
Thank you.
You were just waiting for me to say that, weren't you?
Well, I actually, I'm really happy to hear that, because we've spent a lot of time just trying to strengthen the information,
Well, it's
the
so easy to go
accessibility.
through.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Everything's right there.
Great. I'm really happy that
And you
that you've
fit
been able
most
to
of it
check
on
out.
one page if you're going to print it out.
Right.
That I love. You know, there's some websites, they look so great on the screen, but you go to print it out, and the next thing you know, you're getting half of it on a page. It runs off the edge.
Right.
Or it stretches out for 3 pages or whatever. But, I mean, yours is super. And it's got, you've got all your categories, your AIDS, your HIV,
syphilis,
Hep C,
Mhm.
each one with all the details on it and so forth. That's great.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of work went into building the website, cleaning up a little bit of the information, making it accessible for everybody to understand. In addition to that, we also wanted to put a face to the name. For a long time, when you'd go to the website, you wouldn't know who works there, what those specific people do. And now we have photos, we have a documentary that will show you who these people are, what the tests look like, kind of walking you through the process. So, a lot of times coming in for an HIV test can be very nerve-wracking for folks. So anything that we can do as an agency to kind of ease any of that anxiety or fear, we want to do that, and the web page was an ideal place to start.
And you know what I really loved is the fact that you had the picture of your building right there on every page.
Isn't that great?
And it's like, okay, AIDS, HIV, these are not things hidden in the back room of some building down the street. Here's this beautiful building right on Main Street. This is where you come.
Right. You pass it all the time.
Yeah.
You don't even realize.
It's not that difficult. It's a place you want to walk into. It's not a hidden in the back corner kind of thing anymore.
Right. Right.
And the fact that we're also in the same building doesn't hurt.
right. And Anthony also spearheaded a short film for Maui AIDS Foundation that is absolutely marvelous. I'm
Really?
not sure if it's on the website yet.
Thank you. Yeah.
But we are going to get that up and going. It's freaking stunning.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Yeah. So
Did-
is
that the one you guys were filming? You talked about our balcony up there and stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had asked you, about using some space in the office. We ended up wrapping up that documentary. It's about 4 minutes long, and it's really I titled it "Welcome to Maui AIDS Foundation" because for me, when I watch it, it's kind of like you're being invited into this space. And so, we were really happy to kind of communicate that message instead of kind of this fear-based, like you're saying, back in the corner, dark and cavey. Totally not like that.
Yeah, go down 2 flights of steps. And,
Right.
back to the left door. Yeah.
With a secret knock.
Right, there you go. Yeah, no, it's right there. That's beautiful.
Yep.
We got to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Let's do that. Woo! This has been a busy half hour, 40 minutes, whatever it's been. It's always fascinating to me how we kind of all just get together a few minutes before noon. We talk story a little bit about what we want to cover and so on and so forth, and then you actually start doing the show, and it's like, wow, I thought we were just going to touch on that, but that is really interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can't imagine being a resource caregiver. I just think that's one of the greatest things in the
They're
world.
awesome.
Aren't they? I mean, just to think that somebody can open their homes
Yeah.
to these
I actually have
strangers.
friends back home who were raised in foster care and in resource givers, and that's such a beautiful work. And it's kind of something like not exactly, but we have our Empowered group at Maui AIDS Foundation, and now it's specifically centered for our LGBTQ youth and their straight supporters. So that like the work that they do at I can't remember the name. I'm sorry, Nahale.
No, it's Hui Ho'omalu.
Hui Ho'omalu. Oh, okay. The work that they do is similar to what we do. We try to give our youth a safe environment or a safe zone to be themselves. Yeah, that is so awesome, and to
help figure out who they really are. And,
to nurture that inner beauty in them. That's so stunning. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I just so many of us, of course, I'm so much older than you guys, but we were taught there was one way to live,
Right.
and everybody kind of lived by that book.
Sure.
And as you look at things today, and I think I'm learning every day, because I go to different meetings and I'm part of different groups and things, and I hear this opinion on something, and I go, whoa, where did that come from? And I'm thinking, okay, if that's how you grew up, that's what you would think.
Right.
And I'm going, man, see, I grew up in this little town that had the same families in it for 300 years.
Right.
Sure.
And so, I mean, we were basically all related to each other one way or another. And so it's still a learning experience for me. And I sit there and I said, a few years ago, I just decided, hey, I'm not saying no to anything. I mean, all these options are out there. All these different people are out there. I want to learn more about them all.
Right.
Right. Well, and I think that's a great point, Susie, because at the work we're doing with Empowered, the work we're doing at MAF, we're seeing that landscape change. Things are changing. Specifically speaking to like the LGBT community. Back in my day, when you didn't have social media, you needed to have places to go to feel safe, to find that community, to be able to speak to other people. With social media these days, a lot of LGBT youth don't need those spaces. They're able to connect and create community online.
Right.
And so because of that, we need to think about how we can shift programming to accommodate and support kids at that level.
Absolutely.
Which is new for us too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're young. Yeah, but it's all changing every day.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's, the things we used to have to count on reading in a newspaper.
Yeah.
We get it online 2 minutes after it happens, and you're going, "What? When did that happen?" I know there was something yesterday that popped up on my phone in a meeting that I was in, and I go, "What the heck?" And I thought, "Oh, I'll put it aside." And afterwards, I said something about it, and everybody's going, "What? When did that happen? I haven't heard about it." I said, "Oh, it happened while we were sitting here." It's like, and halfway around the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, the one big thing I think that no matter how much we talk about social media, we have to know what sites we can trust. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, again, you're talking about safe spaces for your people. If they're getting onto a site that's not a safe space, they could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, the beautiful thing with our group Empowered is that it's a private page only. You have to be invited on. Because we've had other groups, not Maui AIDS Foundation, but I've been a part of other groups where we've made web pages before, and everyone and anyone would jump on, and then there was cyberbullying and ripping and reading and all the shade, and so it does have its pros and its cons. But luckily, one of the pros is we are able to. We can say who can and cannot enter the room and stuff, and it's usually just our support group, as well as the youth who are involved in the program and stuff. So they all share their own little ins and outs and whatnots. And then of course they've personally my Hanai baby Makana has become really close friends with the other kids in the group as well, and they meet outside of our group, and they just chit chat a bit. They go to Jamba Juice and they do things, which is what we want to do. We don't want you to feel safe not just with us when you're with our foundation, but with each other as well. Out meet socially and do things. Right. So it's a beautiful thing. I think this program is awesome.
Right. That's good. Yeah. But in general, I would think social media has a lot of websites you just got to stay away from.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And some of them pop up, you don't even realize you've switched sites. Those are the ones that just drive me nuts. It's like,
you
what
can
am I
be
doing
Googling
here?
one thing and another thing pops
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
You have to have your trusted networks for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's like any new toy, it's good and bad.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get back to your programs now. You talked about the syphilis test that's new.
Mm-hmm. We're trying to get everyone to come in and get their. We've been doing hepatitis C testing, and the reason why we want to push this hepatitis C so much on everyone is because lung cancer is on the rise. It's one of the biggest percentages here in Hawaii, and mainly because of hepatitis. The hepatitis attacks the liver.
Really?
Yeah, the lung. I'm sorry,
lungs.
liver cancer.
Is it
liver
liver?
cancer?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry,
I was
not
gonna
lung
say, how
cancer.
do we get to lungs?
Right. It's liver cancer.
Okay.
That's been on the rise here in Hawaii, and it's mainly because of hepatitis. Being that it attacks the liver and whatnot. It's a virus that attacks the liver. And it can be helped. With just by coming in again, getting a free test for 20 minutes. You sit there for a bit, and you find out your results. And so the sad thing is, I guess, luckily we're breaking down all these barriers that everyone has, because everyone thinks that you're going to walk into like a clinic setting and it's just professional, where we're just like, sit down, give me your blood, now get out. Like, we're not like that. We want everyone to know that we care, that we understand that we've most of us have sat in that seat where our client is sitting, and we've had the exact same anxieties that they have, and so we understand, and we approach this with understanding, with emotions. We're not just come in, get out, and get in. We want you to feel comfortable, and to know that we are very, very strict on confidentiality. A lot of people think as soon as they walk out, Coconut Wireless, everybody will know that you were here, and that's not us. We pride ourselves at Maui AIDS Foundation on our confidentiality. So please, people, come in and get tested, honeys. It's free.
Now, is there any? Do we have any signs that you might have Hep C versus something else, or?
The science. So the scariest thing about hepatitis C is that you can have hepatitis C and not see anything. It'll stay dormant for up to 20 to 30 years.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and by the time you do start seeing anything,
It's working its damage.
pretty much too late. Which is why we want to test as much as we possibly can, because we could be sitting here, the three of us, and one of us could have hepatitis C and not know.
So
And-
while it's dormant, the test will find it.
Yes, because your
Okay.
body creates an antibody that fights off the hepatitis C. And so the tests that we do, I guess you could call it an early warning sign or early warning test, is it'll look for that antibody. It won't look for the virus itself because it's hard to detect, but it'll look for that certain antibody that your body creates. And then we go from there.
Interesting. So you might be able to catch it 10 years before it starts really
Yeah.
doing something to you.
Yeah. Whereas for syphilis, not luckily, but I mean, if we all do our own self checks and whatnot, and if you see anything that looks like a rash that popped up from nowhere, or a spotted rash, or something that's just different, I recommend coming in and getting tested. The scariest thing that I've discovered is I've actually had a client who was still a virgin, self-claimed. I'm not sure if he was or wasn't, but had contracted syphilis, and he swears it was from just contact. And but the thing that was scary about that is there is facts that back that up. That if you go and shake someone's hand who has the syphilis pores on their hands, you can contract syphilis. So it's not necessarily a sexually transmitted infection or disease. You can get it from just a cute little handshake or hug.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's scary.
Which is why I don't like shaking hands. I've got antibodies up everywhere. No, but
But I think that's the whole point,
yeah,
right? Is
no.
like coming in, just knowing your status.
Exactly.
I mean, that's like a mantra for us: is know your status. Come in, get tested. Testing is
Yeah.
totally free. You have nothing. You only have something to gain
right.
Yeah.
from coming in to get tested.
That's incredible. Whoa. Huh? I'm going. You're going. I think
He's coming with us after this show. He's coming with me.
He's going to follow you home.
Just so happened I got some tests in my bag. No, I'm just joking.
You don't even have to come over.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's another beautiful thing too, is we do outreach testing. We understand that a lot of people can't come to our foundation for whatever reason that is. And I've actually gone out and done these outreach tests because again, we understand that they're not too comfortable, or for whatever reason they don't want to be seen walking into the building. It's totally fine. You can call us and set up an appointment, and if anything, I'll come out to see you. And we'll set something up where we can come out and meet you and get you tested, so that if you do need the services, we will help you get the services.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's it's such an offer. How can anybody refuse?
Exactly.
And it's not, used to be people thought, okay, well, what kind of a lifestyle do they have? Look where they're going. That's what you're talking about.
Right.
And it's not, that's not the case. You walk into our building, you could be going to see any of the three agencies there. Nobody says you're going to yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, though, that those kind of ideas and that kind of stigma is still associated with getting testing. Like you said, like what kind of lifestyle are those people living if they're contracting, syphilis, Hep C, HIV, and that plays a lot into people's decisions about not getting tested, fear of coming into the agency. And so that's part of our job now, is breaking down that stigma. Kind of retiring those old ways of thinking. Like you said, we're not back in the old days anymore. We're moving very quickly into the future.
Right.
And so that way of thinking is, it's not valid anymore.
Right.
And so, I think McKenna's right. We're doing a great job at come in, know your status, free, confidential. we're normal people. We're here for you. We, it's
We're kind of normal.
bad word choice.
Okay, we're gonna that. But the other thing is that you come in, you get the test done. Your worst fear is that it's positive. But that shouldn't be your worst fear.
No, not
the
at
worst
all.
fear would be not getting tested and knowing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly,
Right?
Susie.
To me, I've always said, different things in my life that you look back on and you say, what if I hadn't asked that question? What if I hadn't gone and done that test?
Exactly.
The worst answers always pop up if you hadn't.
Yeah.
Well, we offer integrated care. So if somebody does test positive for one of those things, immediately we connect them with additional support. If we could offer that in-house at the clinic, we'll do that at Mango Medical. If we cannot, we'll connect them to partner agencies. We're really putting their needs first.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
The one thing that I tell a lot of our clients is, even if your results do come back reactive or positive, we're not just going to give you your results and kick you out. You've basically made new friends because we will be involved in your life.
I got you. McKenna, how can they get a hold of you and ask some more questions?
You can call us at 242-4900. That's our foundation number. Can't give you my personal number over the radio.
Okay, that's all right.
And you can also email us at email myself at McKennaMauiAids at gmail.com.
Okay.
But yeah, just give us a call. Talk to our lovely receptionists there, and then they'll get you hooked up with one of us on a prevention or anyone on the team.
And you're open 5 days a week, 8:30 to
8:30 to 4:30.
4:30?
Definitely recommend coming. If you're gonna come in, call ahead to make an appointment, so that when you come, you don't have to wait.
Yeah. I would hate. I've had people walk in and I have appointments set, so I have to rebook and whatnot. And we also have evening tests on Wednesdays.
Okay.
We can take tests as late as 6:30 for those who get off of work early or late. Sorry.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Very good. Okay. Thank you all for the update on what's happening at Maui AIDS Foundation and within the whole scope of the services you provide. That's great.
It's my pleasure, Susie.
Thanks for having
Thank
us.
you,
again,
McKenna.
Susie.
Thanks, Anthony. Maui Nonprofit Notes is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. Please give Paul and his staff a call at 986-0380 or stop by their showroom in the Waikupu Base Yard on East Oahe Way to see how they can help you with your building project. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui. Please visit our website at mauinonprofit.org for a list of member agencies. And if you see one there that you'd like to find out more about, click on their website and go straight to their website for that view. Today we visited with, such a variety, with Mary Leva of Hui Ho'omalu, and she brought with her resource caregiver Mandy Halverson. Wonderful program they're working on. We also talked with Anthony and McKenna from Maui AIDS Foundation. Their phone number is 242-4900. The number, by the way, for Mary at the if you're interested in becoming a resource caregiver, that number is 268-5122. We want to thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to join us again next week when we'll feature 2 other member agencies. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and your host for Maui Nonprofit Notes. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. Aloha.